Welcome to step 3. At this point you have created a rocket. It flies around with your arrow key as well as shoots, and you can rotate it and the bullet will shoot wherever you're pointing. Okay. The next thing we need to do is create a villain. So we're going to add a sprite. I'll choose a sprite right here down in the bottom right corner. And if you notice, we got lots of sprites available, all the categories, or you can just look at all. In our case, we're going to choose a butterfly to be our enemy that we're going to shoot out of space. You're not limited to that. You can pick anything you like. But that's what we're going to use. Okay, by default, the butterfly is quite large, so I'm going to shrink it immediately. The size is numerical now instead of just a click. So 50% would be half that size, which is what I kind of found that I liked. Okay, so now we need to create the code for this butterfly, what we want it to do, which is right here. So what do we want the butterfly to do? We want it to start somewhere on the top row. We want it to glide down to the bottom row. Now we learned how to do the glide option in the very first challenge, and now we are going to use it with our butterfly. So just like normal, there's going to be an event that this will happen when the green flag is clicked, and first thing we'll do is tell it to hide, just because we don't want it starting in the middle of the screen and it messing it up. So I'm just going to tell it to hide. And then we want this to happen forever, one after another. So we're going to put it in forever loop. So at the beginning of the loop, we're going to tell it to actually show. Okay. And it's going to, and I might change the order of that, but it's okay for now. We're going to have it go to an X and a Y position. So this one sometimes is just a little bit tricky for people to understand. But so right here it says go to X, and the numbers that are in there is where the butterfly is right now. So if you look right here, while I move the butterfly, those numbers will update and change to where it is. But what we want it to do is to go to kind of a random position. We don't want it to go to the same spot every time. So we're going to put a pick random on the X value. X is left and right. And we're going to go, the size of the screen is 255. So we want to go everywhere from the left side of the screen, which is negative 255, and the right side of the screen is positive 255, and everywhere in between. It's like a number line. 0 would be in the middle. Okay, so we're going to put negative 255 and then positive 255. Okay, so we're going to tell it to go there first, and then we'll tell it to show, and then we're going to tell it to glide now instead of go to, right? So kind of like what we did on the beach house, or if you saw the baseball game later, you can see that. Okay, so glide, and you can change the speed here to make it more or less challenging. Maybe we'll go with about the middle, anywhere from 1 to 2 seconds. It's how long it takes it to go from the top to the bottom. So if it's going at an angle, it's going to be going faster because it's got further to travel. Okay, and this will be the same thing. We're going to duplicate this, and we're going to put it right there. Okay. Oops, I forgot the X and the Y. So here's the X and the Y. So go to X, Y. Oh, I have the wrong block out. It's this one. Sorry. So go to that one. And the Y position is the up and down. The bottom is 155. So down to the bottom would be negative 155. So sorry, I had the wrong block out there. So this one goes away, and this one goes in its place. And so now, oh, we forgot to change the Y up here. So this is positive 155. Forgot to change that. So now you can see he starts at the top and glides to a random position. So you can see that that 1 is really, really fast. So I'm going to change that to a 1.5 just to slow it down, so it takes a second and a half to get to the bottom. If you really wanted it to be easy, you could go 2, or whoops, 2, and so that's a little bit easier, but I like to do things on the wild side, so there's 1.5. Okay, and so right now my rocket ship, if I go to him, I can shoot him other than my shooter's not working. All this, there it goes. I don't know why that's not shooting. Oh, there it's working. It must have been just a glitch in the system. So anyway, you can see that not only when the butterfly touches the rocket, nothing happens, but also when I shoot it, nothing happens. So that's what we need to fix. Okay, so back to the butterfly script right here. We're going to add, I'm going to go ahead and hit stop here. We're going to add for this to if a condition. If the butterfly is touching the rocket, we want to stop the game. So we're going to create another event, and this is going to happen the whole time. So when the green flag is clicked, and this is going to be going on forever, we want it to always do this. So if, and if it's touching the rocket ship, so we're going to go to sensing, and we're going to go to touching, and we'll put it in there. You notice that it says mouse pointer, we want it to be rocket ship. Then what do we want to happen? On the control, down here at the bottom, there's this option to stop all. Okay, so when the green flag is clicked, looks like my screen is kind of glitching out. That's supposed to be a green flag, which is probably why the shooter wasn't working. You notice that I touched it and everything stopped. So I encourage you every once in a while to just click the save now so that it updates, just in case you lose your work. Okay, so but now what we got to have happen is if the bullet, okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and stop it. So another thing that another event, same thing again. When green flag is touched, and we want this to be happening forever, at any point in the game we want this to happen. If touching sprite 1, and we could name that something different. So we're going to go an if-then statement. And again, we're going to be sensing something. So touching. There it is. Looking too low. If touching sprite 1, then what do we want it to do? We want it to hide, right? So we're going to go to looks, and we're going to tell it to hide. Okay, shall we try it? Flying around. Oh, I didn't get my bullet off. Let's try it again. I can't hit him. There, got him. Okay, so for some reason my space bar, it's got a little delay and I have to kind of hold my space bar down. in order to shoot, but I think it's because of the lag. Okay, so now it's working. That's working. We'll call that step 3. The next thing we're going to want to do is tell it how to tally a score. And so we will do that in step 4.